This is Akashvani. In connection with General Election 2024 to Lok Sabha, we now bring you a panel discussion with representatives of national level political parties. The participants are Shri Anmol of Aadmi Party, Professor Vivek Kumar of the Bahujan Samaj Party, Dr. Syed Zafar of the Bhartiye Janata Party, Shri Vijoo Krishnan of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, Dr. Shama Mohamed of the Indian National Congress, and Shri Abhaya Kashyap of the National People's Party. Amit Arora, media person, moderates the discussion.
Namaskar. We the people of India are celebrating the festival of democracy, the General Elections 2024. The elections are happening in 7 phases to constitute the 18th Lok Sabha, and it's very important for the voter to know that every vote counts. My vote, my pride. But even as the voter exercises his franchise, he would certainly like to know what is the agenda of different political parties, what is their vision for the nation, and how will it impact their lives. Let's discuss this today in this panel discussion. My name is Amit Arora, and I'm joined by the representatives of 6 national political parties. Please welcome Dr. Syed Zafar. Namaskar. Spokesperson with the Bhartiye Janta Party. We have with us Professor Dr. Vivek Kumar. Namaskar. Representing the Bahujan Samaj Party. Please welcome Shri Abhaya Kashyap, representing the National People's Party. Also with us, Dr. Shama Mohamed, spokesperson with the Indian National Congress. Please welcome Shri Vijoo Krishnan, Central Committee member with Communist Party of India Marxist, and Shri Anmol, an advocate and representative of the Aadmi Party. Namaskar. A warm welcome to all the participants. Let's begin with the election manifesto of the Bhartiye Janta Party, or Sankalp Patra as you call it. Prime Minister Modi completes tenure in office, that's 2 terms. What's your agenda if the voter gives you the 3rd term?
Well, our agenda is from day one, since 2014, when the Honorable Prime Minister took the charge as a leader of our party and as a leader of the government. His only focus is to make India a strong nation. His focus is that the people of this great country should be empowered. His focus is that we, as an Indian, must feel proud when we travel abroad, and India as a country must grow to its full strength. I think to exploit its full strength, he has dug well, understood everything, what is our, and did a SWOT analysis to understand what is the strength and weaknesses of the country. So he has used the strength of our country in the best possible way to empower people of this great country and to ensure that the beneficiaries are the people of this country, as well as the country stand as the biggest beneficiary. And the weaknesses he has addressed. So all the policy measures which he has taken since 2014, all the decisions he has taken, all the structural reform he has undertaken, everything has been with a constant focus on people, because people is his focus, empowering people, section of the society, be it women, be it the youth, be it the pensioners, be it the old age people, every section of the society, he has understood what is their expectation, what is their aspiration, and how to address their expectation in the best possible manner. And then he has taken policy measures to ensure that their experience are met in the best possible way. Now you just see 2014, India was among the 5 fragile economy. But today just see, after 10 years, India is a strong economy. All the macroeconomic parameters of India is looking exceedingly well. Then you have an economy which is thriving. You have the incremental contribution to the world GDP. India is contributing almost 20% of the world GDP. That's incredible that a country which was so fragile, we were in 11th position until 2014 at 11th position. From 2014 to 2024, from 11th, we are now number 5 large economy in the world, and we are knocking the door to become 3rd largest economy in the world. Why it is possible? Because there is a government who prioritize country first, nation first, and people of this country first. And this is why we are very confident that next 5 years will be the most beneficial for the country as well as the people of this country, because most of the structural reforms have been undertaken. Most of the policy decisions which last 10 years have been taken. Most of the decisions where you needed a political will, strong political will, have been taken. Now you have to take a decision which could have been, people were thinking that it could have taken but not been taken. Now those policy decisions will be taken which will ensure growth, will ensure momentum in the economy, will ensure a lot of job creation, a lot of white collar, blue collar job, will create world class infrastructure, will a lot of investment in the country, and the economy and the country will be thriving going forward. And that is what the agenda, the Prime Minister, that ensure that every section of the society, their concern is being addressed, and all of them are the beneficiary of the good governance model which has been introduced since 2014, where the priority is the two basic principles of the governance model: fairness and effectiveness. So with fairness, everything is being done, and now it should be effective and something which is being monitored personally by him. So next 5 years will be the best 5 years of the country, because this is the best time. As Prime Minister say, yahi time hai, sahi time hai. This is the time to take very important legislative measures, and we expect that a lot of things will happen that will only benefit the people of this great country.
Okay, so as Dr. Syed says, last 10 years under Prime Minister Modi have seen stable government. Let's talk about Congress's Nyay Patra. Nyay means justice, which is one of the key principles enshrined in the Indian Constitution. What justice is Congress seeking, and what is the essence of the Nyay Patra?
The Indian National Congress is seeking justice in many sections of what is happening in this country. When the Prime Minister in 2014 came in, before he came in, he promised each one 2 crore jobs per year. I would bring down the petrol and diesel prices. I will bring down the gas prices. I will reduce mehengai, is what he has been saying. Sabka saath, sabka vikas. With everybody I will be. So, and we will keep the democracy. Everything has gone ovary. It's gone against it. For example, according to CMI report of December, 10.5% is the joblessness in our country. There are no jobs here. You have government jobs which are lying vacant. We have, that is what we are saying. First, what we are going to do is we are going to fill up the government jobs. When the Prime Minister of India said the Manrega is a monumental failure, it is the one which saved us after COVID. We are going to increase that to 400 rupees per day from, I think, what is 300 odd right now. We are going to give women 50% reservation in central government jobs. We are going to scrap Agniveer, which we feel gives nothing. They work for 4 years. After that, they are jobless again. They get no pensions. You're fighting for the Indian Army. You need to be solidly fighting for the Indian Army. We are going to make MSP legal because we want justice for farmers. In 2008, we were waived 70,000 crore loan of farmers, and we are ready to do that. We keep our promises. We've seen that in Telangana and Karnataka and the UPA Sarkar. Right to information, right to education, Food Security Act, Manrega, who got all this in? Us. Nirbhaya Act, we got it in. So we will be doing these, we will be putting on all this, and most important of all, we will have to save our constitution, and we will bring down the price rise. During our time, petrol in 2014, before they came in, when the world oil prices were $104 a barrel, we were selling petrol at 75 rupees per litre, and diesel was 55 rupees per litre, and gas was 424. Now, diesel, even when petrol price or world oil prices have dipped to 80 or 75, we still pay 99 for diesel, above 100 for petrol, and for gas, it's 1,000 rupees and above. When elections have arrived, the Prime Minister has made it 950. So what we are saying is that price rise has not been tackled. Another very important thing, things which are above 20 kgs and 20 litres have no GST, but below that you have put 5% GST on dal, atta, chawal, your curd, your milk, everything. The common man finds it difficult. The other important thing is we are going to expose the biggest scam after independence, the electoral bond scam, in which you can get unlimited amount of money from outside, which was never there in India. You could get money from a company in India with 3 years of their profit, which was around 7%, and it will be there in your accounts in the later of the year. But here now, according to the Electoral Bond Finance Bills in 2017, you can get unlimited amount of money from outside. You can get unlimited amount of money from here. Okay. You don't need to know who is giving it. It's anonymous. We are going to expose that because he said before 2014 there were scams. I want to ask him today, who is that scammer who has gone to jail? One from the Congress party? Nobody. If somebody has gone to jail for corruption, it is Yedurappa from their party. And which is the scam which has been proven? There can be allegations, and we, being a just party, immediately ask that person who has, there is an allegation, to resign. Whether it's Ashwini Kumar, Pawan Bansal, many names. We asked them to resign, and we used to have an investigation immediately. All right, we were ready for an impartial investigation. Here, there is never, one thing you have to note after 2014, there is no accountability. Nobody is accountable for anything. It is the opposition which is accountable when things are happening on that side. So we are going to fight for that. We are going to get back our democracy, where journalists like you are put behind bars on UAPA. A journalist from NewsClick has been released. The Supreme Court has said there was no case against him. There was no need to put a UAPA. So we are going to get our democracy back. We will allow people to eat what they want. They can go and pray to any god they want. They can wear what they want. They can meet whoever they want.
The question I had asked you was the essence of Nyay Patra. So you've raised a lot of points. We'll come back to electoral bonds, UAPA. Let me come to the representative of BSP. Sir, as a sociologist, you'll probably understand human behavior better than most. When we talk about unemployment or inflation, the question I was asking Dr. Shama, what's the solution? How do we create more job opportunities?
First of all, I think we have to be very clear that as a political party, BSP is the only party which doesn't releases its Nyay Patra or actually manifesto. Because they think that constitution is the best document to be representing as the manifesto. So I think if we take the preamble itself, I think becomes very, very important, that self-representation. And I think it is very, very heartening to me and listen actually national leaders talking about jiski jitni sankhya bhari uski utni hissedari. These were the slogan of the Bahujan Samaj party. And I think that is what one is the very important thing which is happening now in 2024 election, that the agenda which Bahujan Samaj party was representing, जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी, वोट हमारा राज तुम्हारा नहीं चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, और वोट से लेंगे पीएम सीएम, आरक्षण से लेंगे एसपीडीएम. I think all these things are being played in hustings. And second thing, what is being judiciary, bureaucracy, university, civil society, industry, they are not being represented by the Bahujans which are outside in the society. They are not being seen. I think these things have to be raised at a highest pinnacle level, that look, you have to give them self-representation. How long you will be speaking on their behalf? I think they should be given the right to speak for themselves, whether it is judiciary, bureaucracy, university, civil society or polity. But you see, where is the representation? If we go to Congress, we do not find even one Dalit representing as the spokesperson. So these are tokens which is basically because of this Bahujan Samaj party or parties like these, they have come up. So I think now what they have done, I think I have only researched from Uttar Pradesh where they have implemented the policies, not a reservation in private sector was one of the very important policies. Second, the distribution of land with the highest level of money which was compensation was given, and one person was supposed to be given job when you have taken the land. I think land reform is the forte of the left. I can't speak, but I think we have seen. And Rahul Gandhi led a movement, Bhatta Parsol, you remember. That was the beginning. But if you look at further, the universities which were created, nobody talked about the universities from Gautam Buddha University to Urdu Farsi University. These were not actually highlighted. So I think the type of policies and programs which were taken up, they gave a lot of confidence to the Bahujans, and that is why the party still maintains at the national level. And I think the pressure which has come to the national political parties to take their agenda and further, even Mandal Commission which was raised by Manavar Kanshiram and Behenji. So I think the two leaders still represent the legacy of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Phule, Sahu, and also E.B.R. Raman, Swaminathan Periyar. I think those things still are very relevant, which have been relegated to periphery and they have brought to the agenda. So but I think we should remember.
Yeah, but Professor, as you heard, both the spokesperson of BJP and the Congress, BSP finds itself close to which political party?
I don't think so, because that is what actually the narrative. When Congress wins and Bahujan Samaj party supports Congress, then BJP wala says it is B team of the Congress.
Yes.
Because we know that in last to last, when a Congress was in power, even stalwarts actually they won from Bahujan Samaj party support in Rajya Sabha.
Right.
And they were supporting even in the other governments in the state. So I think it's sometimes very painful exercise that how you caricature people.
So in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, you're equidistant from both of them.
I think so. That's what actually we are seeing. Because nobody can chalk out a strategy that, look, my candidate will win. And actually, how many votes? Because in Uttar Pradesh, 4 कोस पे बानी, 8 कोस पे पानी. How can you really create a equation of winning or losing?
Right. Of course, there's diversity in a big country like India. So we've heard about Sankalp Patra of BJP, Nyay Patra of Congress. As far as BSP is concerned, they never come out with election manifesto. And as Professor said, I have small question for both BJP and the Congress. Sir, 75 years of Indian Republic. Do you think that political parties, even in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, are probably doing caste-based politics ahead of governance and development? Is that true?
See, you heard Dr. Shama Mohamed and you heard the comments of Bahujan Samaj Party representative. I think it's Congress Party always has divided the society to get into power. But Bhartiye Janta Party, as a matter of principle, we want to take everyone together. That's why Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabke Liye Prayas is our slogan. And we have demonstrated in last 10 years, section of the society which has been left out have been adequately, their concern have been adequately addressed. People say that we do not focus on X community, West community. These are all allegations made by political party which believes in dividing the society. For instance, I come from a Muslim community, so is she. She was talking about the Honorable Prime Minister, what he'd say. See our governance model. Our population, I'm just as an example I'm giving, that how our focus is that everyone is at par in our eyes as a government.
And the BJP does not believe in any appeasement politics?
Not at all. That's what I'm saying, that population of Muslim community is maybe 14-15%. But in terms of all the welfare scheme which has been distributed, which has been introduced by the Honorable Prime Minister and has been distributed to the beneficiary, see the list. The beneficiary includes Muslim communities around beyond 22%, 23%, 24%. Because Congress, because of their misrule, have left few communities in a very despair situation, and Muslim community happens to be one of them.
A brief reply. Yes,
Yeah, no, I need to reply to him. He says there is no issue. Then the Prime Minister should not speak. See, what happens is, Aam Aadmi says, देखो, ये घुसपैठिया आ गया, हमारा संपत्ति लेके जा रहा है. Then for Congress, so he's creating hatred. He is demonizing the Muslims in this country every day. That's what is happening to
Congress
us.
manifesto.
No, but you have to ask why the Prime Minister of India keeps saying घुसपैठिया आ गया है, suppose संपत्ति ले रहे साथ.
He's clarified.
What is he clarified on that? He has not clarified. He says welfare schemes are coming. I don't believe that.
A small question related to Congress manifesto. When you say that in Nyay Patra, we'll do a survey based upon the caste and the wealth, what is the objective of this survey?
Okay, so there is again a mistake which you said. There is no survey based on wealth. There is only a survey based on caste. We have done a caste census in Bihar. I want to ask the Prime Minister of India, why is he shy of doing a caste census? You will come to know how many Bahujans are there, how many OBCs are there, how many STs are there. You will come to know what is the map of this country, and they also need to have their rightful, like if you go to Odisha, a state, there are nearly 80% OBC, SC and ST, all right. So you have to give them their rightful, what they deserve in terms of their jobs, in terms of education, everything.
But your manifesto does not talk about redistribution of wealth, how to bridge inequalities of income.
No redistribution of wealth in my manifesto. It is a caste survey, yes. And Rahul Gandhi ji is very clear on that, and we will do it. We have done it in Bihar, we will do it. And I fail to understand why the Prime Minister of India till now has not agreed on it and does not say a word about it.
Would CPIM, because you are a member of the India Alliance, welcome such a caste-based survey?
No, we are for a caste census. There is no doubt on that, and it is very much required. And it's not just state-wise alone. At the national level itself, the census should be done on the caste survey is something that in our manifesto also we have very clearly mentioned.
And in your manifesto, Mr. Krishnan, you also mention inheritance tax. Could you please help us understand how inheritance tax could well be a tool to bridge the inequalities of income?
No, actually, if you see the inequality which is there, you have 1% of the population owning about 40% of the wealth, and that is the situation that we have. When we are talking about taxation, we are talking about taxing the super rich. Wealth tax is one, but inheritance tax also, a one-time inheritance tax, when big property transfers and so on are happening, that is something which we have said.
But because all of you, three of you are part of India Alliance, what is Congress's view on inheritance tax?
No, we have not said anything on inheritance tax. We do not believe in such things. What we will do is, what I believe the problem right now is the GST. taxing the middle and the lower. Like he said, you should have taxes changed how it has been done, because the GST we are going to bring it to the simple. See, you're taxing sharpeners, you're taxing pencils, you're taxing hospital beds. I mean, this is not done. You tax tractor wheels, which the farmers use. The 18% tax, some of them are 28%. You know, this is just not justified the way they are taxing. So we believe this GST, the way it is right now, has to be changed, because there are multiple and they get their main revenue from GST. And corporate tax, let's understand, was reduced to 22% from 35%. That is done by them. But they are not ready to forego the debt of the farmers.
Right.
They are not ready of any of those things.
So Anmolji, India Alliance consists of Congress, CPIM and Aam Aadmi Party as well. How do you see this? Because there are inherent contradictions too. Congress says no to inheritance tax, CPIM says yes to inheritance tax. What is Aam Aadmi Party's view in terms of how we can raise more sources of revenue?
See, we believe since 2013, when we first entered the electoral arena, we discovered that the people of our country are struggling for basic facilities, for basic amenities like food, water, education and healthcare. So these were our priority areas. Under the visionary leadership of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, we presented a transparent, accountable and participatory Delhi model of governance, which ensured that free electricity must be given to the citizens, water supply must be given to the citizens, world-class education facilities and healthcare facilities, which are in fact fundamental rights enshrined in the constitution of our country. A model of governance which is showing direction to the whole country, a model which is recognized globally, a model which is a ray of hope from the length and breadth of the country, which promises a comprehensive package of rights, protection to ensure their well-being and fulfillment. So with a vision to make India number one, we have given 10 guarantees to the people of this country. The first is, we will ensure that free electricity must be given to each and every citizen 24/7, which is possible. Second guarantee is that we will ensure world-class education must be provided to each and every children, because we believe that a growth of a nation depends on the quality of education, and we will build good infrastructure in every village and locality of our country. Our third guarantee is, like our leader said, the way central agencies are working at their behest and are not taking action against the ones whom their own leader labeled as corrupt. The 25 most corrupt leaders, either they are contesting on Lok Sabha tickets from Bhartiye Janta Party or have been sent to Rajya Sabha and are colleagues of one of our fellow panelists who are sitting here.
From where will you get the money?
We did this in Delhi and Punjab. In last 10 years, the people of Delhi have given a stamp of approval to this governance model by giving us 67 seats in 2015, 62 seats in 2020 and in MCD elections as well.
Is Punjab a fiscally deficit state?
See, in Punjab, in last 2 years, as far as health is concerned, we have opened 837 Mohalla clinics, because in Punjab, at least we have the liberty, there's no lieutenant governor who is a nominated man and who is interrupting day in and day out in the governance like in Delhi. In Punjab, in last 2 years, we have regularized 12,713 teachers, a promise which was made by each and every government in last 20 years. And the fact is, which each and everyone in the country will admit, that in Delhi, when we came in power in 2015, our budget was 36,000 crores. We were questioned that how will we provide these facilities. In 2024, the budget is 76,000 crores and we are providing each and every citizens free of cost education, healthcare, free water supply and electricity.
Right.
And other welfare measures,
Yes,
like 1,000 rupees for every woman. We are providing free bus rides to every woman. We are providing Tirth Yatra Yojana and pension to the elderly citizens. And as far as employment is concerned, we have started business blaster programs in Delhi, because we believe that entrepreneurship is the only way, which is a long-term solution to the unemployment.
Okay, fine. Dr. Syed,
So, but
there's a
I
lot
was
of
not-
discussion. I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion these days. This is taxpayers' money. How do you see these freebies that are mentioned in most of the election manifestos?
See, our election manifesto, Sankalpat, we have not committed something which is seen as a freebies by the other political parties or by the countrymen. But what we have promised, a good governance, what we have promised that all the basic, the ease of living, is for ease of living, whatever is required, whether it's electricity, whether it's a water connection, tap water, whether it's a toilet, whether it's a gas connection, whether it's a roof, those who do not have roof, everyone will be provided, and this is what we have demonstrated in last 10 years. We have ensured that the section of society which is like, for instance, farmers, their expectations are also there. We have done so many things for the farming community.
Do you think for farmers, giving a loan waiver, instead of that option, giving them MSP is a far better option?
See, it's a combination of many things. We have given better MSPs. What they had promised, they had never delivered. We have given Pradhan Mantri Samman Nidhi as well.
In 2014, the promise was that Swaminathan Commission recommendation would be implemented. C2 plus 50 would be the MSP.
Yes.
It has not been implemented. They have given an affidavit in the Supreme Court that it cannot be implemented.
Yeah,
in the last 10 years, if you see the National Crime Records Bureau of the suicides by farmers, farm dependent people, the agriculture workers and the migrant workers, it is about 4,25,000. This is something not visible in the entire history of
But
humankind.
Mr. Krishnan,
doubling farmers' income.
Yes.
It was said that farmers' income would be doubled. If it was doubled in 2022, it should have been at least 2,71,000 per farm household. The government figures say it is only 1,26,000 or so. This is the situation where farmers are forced to quit agriculture, farmers' suicides are happening, and that is what Narendra Modi has in the last 10 years created for farmers.
Anmol ji, I want to
One
ask
more
you,
thing
the
to tell
National
you,
Commission for Farmers, popularly known as the Swaminathan Commission, was created in 2004. And by the time 2006 came, 5 or 6 reports were tabled, and we had the UPA 1 and UPA 2. Do you think that even the Congress
I'm
at
going to
that
answer
point
to
of time
that.
missed out implementing on major recommendations?
So let me first present the correct facts. The fact is that in 2014, Mr. Narendra Modi promised MSP to the farmers. It has not been implemented since last 10 years. He promised that he will waive off the farm loans and will double the income. After repealing the 3 farm laws, when more than 750 farmers laid down their lives, they formed a committee of 30 people. And out of that, there was no representation from Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh or Haryana, the places from where these farm protests originated. Why did they waive off the loans of their business tycoons to the tune of 16 lakh crores? They do not have money for the farmers of this country.
Okay,
they have been treating them in such a way that they are forced to leave either farming or they are
Can I just respond
So
to
one
that?
more thing.
laying out their lives.
Amit,
Yes,
When I
I'll come to you. Yes.
See, first of all the opposition leaders are misleading here. Swaminathan Commission report, when did it was tabled? In 2006. Who was responsible at that point in time to implement it? It is the Congress party. You should ask why they didn't allow it. It's not only the Swaminathan committee report. After Swaminathan committee report, there is another commission was set up. That also gave a report that yes, it should be implemented. Then another committee was formed which was led by Huda, their own leaders. He also recommended that everything should be implemented, but they chose not to implement. Implementing C2 plus
Let's come to
50
the
was one.
representative of the National People's Party. Sir, what is your agenda for the Lok Sabha elections 2024 and next 5 years?
See, I've been hearing with some interest and confusion the discussion which was just being held. What I want to emphasize is we as tribals of the Northeast feel left out when there is a cockfight, when there is a sharing of the loot, for want of better words.
Bahujan also leave.
And just like the Bahujan party, we also don't have a manifesto. So I would like to correct my friend that they are the only party who don't have a manifesto.
Good.
We do believe in the constitution. We have to emphasize that the birth of the different states in the Northeast was not a natural birth but a bit of a cesarean. And it is only over time with astute and committed leadership that today we have cohesion instead of division, particularly in the state of Meghalaya, where Mr. Conrad Sangma, who is now the president of the party, the state was divided even politically into 3 regions, and it is only in the last election that we find that it has become more cohesive. The reason for that is very quietly, without making too much noise, without making too much sloganeering, NPP has worked under the principles of the late P.S. Sangma, who is known to have been a thorough nationalist, under the leadership of Mr. Conrad Sangma, to achieve delivery of projects and proposals and initiatives that for which we could get some funding from the national government.
So, Abhijit, how do you see the progress of Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 related to SC/ST of the Indian Constitution?
This is a very loaded question that you are asking. You are in fact equating things which are perhaps not equitable. For example, what Bahujan party represents would be more of the scheduled caste. What we are representing is more of scheduled tribes, and even there are differences, because the constitutional fathers at that time did not have the kind of vision we have today with hindsight. And the regulations that were made, the laws that were made need to be constantly evolved much faster than they are evolving, because the needs and aspirations of the people are changing. And often, and I see this often, that scheduled tribe and scheduled castes are equated in a discussion. It's not correct. The real problem is, while many others are looking for a share, we are looking for some kind of equity. And the depth of penetration of what may otherwise be called modern values of one factor was just now mentioned, inflation. Now, that's a very loaded word. The inflation in a village in Nagaland is very different from the inflation in Greater Kailash.
Yes.
And mind you, the inflation in Greater Kailash sustains your economy because the real estate inflation, which has been in excess of 20%, is what has been funding a lot of economic activity, including politico-economic activity. We don't have that leisure or that privilege. So with that, I would like to point out that one size doesn't fit all. A little more attention is needed to discriminating between what should be the policies for where.
Okay, fine. Dr. Shama, you mentioned about electoral bonds. The Honorable Supreme Court has already termed that unconstitutional. But I want to know what could be an alternative when it comes to political finance, where white money is involved, which is in alignment with democratic process. And it also gives a level playing field to all political parties.
So are you saying that electoral bonds are the right thing?
No,
How
what
can
is the
it be?
solution?
No, that can never be the solution, because there you are getting money from abroad, which is unlimited.
Yes.
All right. So anybody, so I have a company here or whatever, I can start a shell
What's the
company.
alternative?
Alternative is, of course, how we used to. We have to, if companies are giving, it should be in their accounts. It should be limited. It should be around like how we did it, 7% of the profits of 3 years. You do it in such a way. You have cash of 20,000. You know, you have
So
it.
donor details anonymous? Or
No anonymous.
Told to the voter.
The voter has to know
Okay.
where the party, anybody is getting money, like how you have in UK, the political party itself funds. So the political party should be. In US, you have this kind of, what you call these dinners where they get the funds. Other 2 points I wanted to make is that during our time, we waived 70,000 crore
Yes,
loan. Let's
the
not
farmers.
forget that, to the
Yes.
farmers. And they had said in 2022, they will double the farmers' income, which they have not, and they will make it a fry-trillion
But waiving
economy.
loan, is that
But
sustainable?
Let me finish it. See, what we do is at least we help out, all right, in whatever we can. If they say one thing, they don't do. And for the employment, I forgot to mention that we are doing this Pehli Naukri Pakki, whereas a guy who finishes his education, whatever it is, he's not able to find jobs. That's the biggest problem for youngsters. We give them apprenticeship in which they get in a year 1 lakh. And of course, we have the Mahalakshmi scheme for women where they get 1 lakh. This is right now to start off.
This will
when
be
India,
which category of women?
India,
Mahalakshmi,
the
which
poorest
category?
of the poor, and in that the most older woman will get it. This is when we come to power on June 4th, so that people have a way out of this price rise. They have something
Yes.
with them
Yes,
in their
Mr.
hand.
Krishnan,
Regarding
yes.
the manifesto itself, we are very clear that this is an election to protect the constitution of our country, the secular democracy, economic sovereignty, federal rights and social justice. And in the last 10 years, it has been attacked in the most vicious manner. Here it was mentioned about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. In the entire elections, there has been an effort to communally polarize.
What's the solution CPIM is offering?
No, we are very clear that the religion and politics should be separated. There should not be, the state should not have a role to meddle with religious.
And no reservation also on the basis of minorities?
Social economic backwardness is the basic reason why the reservation is being given.
But not on the basis of
no,
religion.
even in among them, if you look at the Ranganath Mishra Commission and other commissions, it has been speaking about these sections being the most deprived in terms of the education, economic benefits and so on.
Right.
Coming to our manifesto itself, in terms of defending secularism is one of the aspects. In terms of the economic sovereignty, very clearly it has been in favor of the corporate cronies of this government, and we have seen more than 17 lakh crores of their loans and so on being waived off. When there is talk about loan waiver for farmers, then there is immediately they argue that it's bad economics. But when their own cronies are being, their loans are waived, then there is no problem with it. In terms of the price rise which is happening, promise was that bahut ho gaya mehengai ki maar, that's why Modi Sarkar. Now, when election comes, Narendra Modi and BJP are saying that gas cylinder in Rajasthan, they made a promise that it would be given at 450 rupees.
Right.
These kind of false promises, jumlas of the last 10 years, people are fed up. People are literally, it's the hunger deaths maximum in our country.
Yes.
It is the 111 in the global hunger index.
Yes.
It is such situation that we need to overcome. Only then there can be real development and real vikas.
Right. Anmolji, since you're an advocate, Shamaji mentioned about UAPA. So one, are you looking at repealing UAPA? Also PMLA was brought in to fight corruption. So what's your take regards these two laws?
Can I be allowed to complete my manifesto?
30 seconds, sir, please.
PMLA was introduced by Bhartiye Janta Party in 2018 through a money bill route, which gave untrammeled powers to the Enforcement Directorate. Since last 5 years, 95% of cases are against the opposition parties, and BJP now is a safe haven for the ones who have done corruption to the tunes of thousands of crores. 4 promises which I mentioned earlier, which is better healthcare and free healthcare for every citizen, world-class education facilities, eradicating corruption, and the other was in regard to free electricity. The other promises which we have made is full statehood for Delhi, because the Delhi citizens, despite voting, are half citizens. We don't have sufficient powers. The 6th promise is that we will bring amendments, will simplify the administrative and legal complexity in the GST, so that like 12 lakh high net worth individuals have left the country, which has direct impact on the unemployment. The 7th promise is we will give farmers minimum support price. The promise which was not fulfilled by the Bhartiye Janta Party in last 10 years. The 8th promise is that will provide employment. Their recent data, last year, their member of parliament admitted that they are able to provide only 1 crore 25 lakh employment. In last 10 years, although they promised that they'll provide 2 crore in each year, we'll provide employment to each and every individual, and we will discontinue the Agniveer scheme, which doesn't give a sense of ownership, and in which after 4 years, the youth are made to retire without giving any pensionary benefits or even the status of martyr, which was denied to one of the soldiers who laid down his life last year.
Last 2 questions. One important question, which I think has to be an agenda of every political party, has to be sustainable development. When India hosted G20, Dr. Syed, our theme was One Earth, One Future, One Family. We have seen in Delhi AQI touch 600. It impacts our health adversely. Health of the planet is concerned with our health. Would sustainable development be one of the important agendas for the BJP?
It is, and we have spoken about it. We, not once, but the Honorable Prime Minister has spoken very candidly about it, that sustainable model, and this is what the United Nations also wants. And we are complying with all the requirements of the criteria which has been laid down by the United Nations to comply with sustainable development model, and we are very focused on that, and the Honorable Prime Minister has narrated, demonstrated and spoken about it.
Yes, Abhaya, sustainable development, because when we talk about Northeast, we talk about the beauty of the Northeast.
Not only that, it is perhaps the most sustainable development model alive today in India, because the per unit consumption of energy of our citizens is very, very low. And in fact, I think just like there are carbon compensation, the Northeast states should be given some kind of a compensation, so that number one, that model continues while development also happens, and that has nobody been putting any attention to that. And the amount of carbon emission in Northeast perhaps one of the lowest in the country.
Yes. Professor Vivek?
No, I am actually not of these actually very flowery and conceptual words of sustainable development. I am talking about self-representation. There is a party which takes votes of the Dalits and the Bahujans, but when it comes to sending the people to Rajya Sabha, they send to someone else, you know. So where is the self-representation there? Here is a party which sits and gives 400 tickets in Uttar Pradesh, but not even a single minority person. There is a political party, they are talking about farmers, they are not talking about landless laborers. And you know that most of the landless laborers, they come from a particular identity. Therefore, I think there is a case where the political parties, they end. I think Bahujan Samaj Party begins. And therefore, I think it's very important to talk about self-representation, landless laborers, and representation of the minorities at the national level. And then only sustainable development can take place.
We have given them in our manifesto in Telangana. Very clearly, if landless farmers are given 15,000, we have done it.
Yes.
See, the Congress party, one thing you have to understand, judges by our 10 years in power, whatever we said we have done, and also a GDP of average 8.5%. Here you have what, 5.4% with the new method, where 2% has been added.
Yes.
So they talk about COVID times, how in doing that hardship they survived. What about the world economic crisis of 2008? Every other country in the world was touched.
Yes.
India was cushioned
Yes.
because of our economic policies of Manmohan Singh and the finance ministry and the UPA Sarkar's governance.
Right.
So everybody keeps talking about COVID, but let's never forget about 2008.
That's right.
How we cushioned it.
Yes, sustainable development. That's an area where we all have to agree.
I agree on this fact because what is of prime importance is the human existence. And as far as
Not done.
pollution is concerned, we have the most progressive EV policy in the country, with a target of 25% of the vehicles in Delhi to be converted to EV. In fact, 1 year we sold around 2 lakh vehicles. And the green cover, it is at 23.6%. It is the highest in the country in Delhi, which was 11% in 2014. So in last 10 years, in 2001, let me correct. So we have done a lot as far as this area is
Mr.
concerned.
Krishnan.
Sustainable development and equitable development, that is something which we are for. But if you are talking about G20 and the manner in which it was conducted here, where the slums were covered up and lot of people being evicted from their homes, that has nothing to do with sustainable development. This government has had the maximum forest land being taken over, land grab that is going on. It has only worked exactly in the opposite direction to ensure sustainable development. That is the situation that is here.
Pollution in Delhi.
And
Something has to be done.
absolutely nothing has been done in that.
Absolutely. I think, we have to understand United Nations is saying that the era of global warming is over. We're now entered the era of global boiling. So this is the question of our human existence. One final question to everyone.
I have to leave.
Notwithstanding
I'm
the
sorry.
heated debates, in the heat wave, the voter has to go out, Dr. Shama, and still vote. How would you encourage the voter, particularly the first-time voter?
The first time voter is because you have no jobs. We are giving you jobs. We have it in our manifesto. Women, we have the Mahalakshmi scheme. We are giving 50% reservations in the central government. And they know that many voters are scared. If the BJP person goes out, hum sarkar ko nahi denge. It's a rule of terror out here. So we have motivated the voter, and they know that democracy, right now there's an undeclared emergency in this country. So we want to get out of
June,
it.
it's India Alliance
India
government.
Alliance
Who will be
government.
the Prime Minister?
See that, did you know in 2004 who's going to be the Prime Minister? Did you know that? So we'll decide.
Okay, yes. How would you encourage the voter?
No, it is for protecting our country, it is for protecting the democracy, secularism and federal rights of our states, that every individual should vote. It is to ensure that the hard-won rights of the working class, the people of our country. It is for ensuring that this rampant unemployment which is there, that can be overcome and employment generation can be there. Corrupt and communal forces can be kept away from government. Every Indian should vote in this election against the corrupt communal BJP. BJP Hatao, Desh Bachao is our slogan.
Anmolji, how would you encourage the voter?
See, the guarantees which we have made, it always materializes in concrete actions. Our performance in last 10 years, it forms the bedrock of our government's reputation and credibility. And we deliver on all the fronts. That is why Delhi model of governance is resonating with the people deeply. And the BJP in last 10 years have not delivered on any of the issues which they have promised. Their own data shows the answers which their own member of parliaments have given, that they have failed on all counts, whether it is unemployment, whether it is price rise, whether it is working for the farmers, whether it is inflation.
Anmolji,
So don't believe in their jumlas. They are masters in giving jumlas.
Yes, Abhaya.
See, I think your question is regarding
To encourage
how
voters.
to encourage voters, and your previous question was regarding the environment. I would like to quote a judgment of the Supreme Court where the matter in front of the Supreme Court related to the environment, and the Supreme Court, particularly for the tribal parts of our country, said that the answer lies in education. And I would like to emphasize my answer that as per the Election Commission, as per the Supreme Court, where the citizen has to practice not just his rights but his duties also, the answer lies in education.
Education, absolutely. And do you think, in addition to becoming economic power, becoming a soft power is important? Because this time in BJP's manifesto, you are also mentioning hosting 2036 Olympics. Yes.
I think soft power or being a soft power has always been important, whether it is in religion or in politics. You may fight battles with hard power, but you win hearts with soft power.
Yes, absolutely. And your Chief Minister of Meghalaya is a musician too.
Yes,
so music,
he's a musician,
art,
and
culture,
and
sports.
he believes in religion too. But he's secular in his governance.
Yes. Professor Vivek, how will you encourage the voter so that in 2024 Lok Sabha elections we can have a very good voter turnout?
I think actually the Bahujans have a lot of stake, because it was Babasaheb Ambedkar who tried to argue one mode, one value, one man, one vote, one value. I think that's where Manyavar Kashiram took over, and he said that vote Hamara Raj Tumhara nahi chalega, nahi chalega. So I think the Bahujans and the deprived section, the excluded, for them vote is the basic tool through which they can really go and empower themselves. And every elections, I think that is the faith in the democracy that they get strengthened. So I think we all try to ask them that please, and Behan ji has given a slogan, Pehle matdan, baad mein jise kehna chahiye jalpan. So I think that the commitment towards democracy really is exalted by going and casting their vote. And you can see the lines, the big lines. Who are the people? And you go and actually South Delhi, the lines are not there. But you go to JJ colonies, there are lines. And that's where I think the stake is, that they have the biggest stake in democracy, and therefore they come and vote in larger numbers.
If the voter turnout is high, does that indicate pro-incumbency? Would that benefit the ruling government?
See, we are not overly concerned about higher voter turnout or lower voter turnout, because we know exactly that the voters have made up their mind. And given the last year's 10 years of the governance model, which has been followed by the Honorable Prime Minister, we are more than confident that the people of this great country will definitely bless the Honorable Prime Minister for third term as well. Having said that, we will definitely encourage. India is a young nation, and I would encourage that every citizen, especially the youth and youngsters I'm talking about, and I'm addressing that, they are very fortunate that they have been born in India in a time zone where now, because it is this country which is going to flourish in next 25 years, and India will become a developed nation. Among the developed nation, it will be counted as among the developed nation, purely because India is on a path of great growth, and it will bring a lot of prosperity for the citizen. So I think everyone who is part of this democratic process, the democratic festival, and I think you must exercise your franchise to ensure that the thriving democracy which India has, and you are the architect, should continue. You also ensure that the India become a world power, India become a very strong nation, which is the foundation has been laid by the Honorable Prime Minister. To continue this, you need to have a political leader and who has the political will to take important and tough decisions to ensure that India becomes a strong nation, and the benefit goes to the citizen of this country. So my request that please use your franchise, vote for the leader who you admire, but must exercise your vote. To make India strong, you must exercise and your franchise and vote for the Honorable Prime Minister for his third term.
This is the festival of democracy. You've heard the agenda of different political parties. It's over to the voter, and voter is the one who's at the center of the democracy. So happy voting. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you very much. Thanks.
In connection with General Election 2024 to Lok Sabha, you were listening to a panel discussion with representatives of national level political parties. The participants were Shri Anmol Panwar of the Aadmi Party, Professor Vivek Kumar of the Bahujan Samaj Party, Dr. Syed Zafar of the Bhartiye Janta Party, Shri Vijoo Krishnan of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, Dr. Shama Mohamed of the Indian National Congress, and Shri Abhaya Kashyap of the National People's Party. Amit Arora, media person, moderated the discussion. This broadcast came to you from the Delhi station of Akashvani.